We're coming down to the wire, y'all, but the Sharks are still in the playoff hunt. What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to another episode of Sharks Latest. I'm your host, Jimmy, here to bring you everything regarding your favorite hockey team. If you can't get enough Team Teal, hit that subscribe button below and you'll be part of the family. And don't forget the notification bell as well. Hope everybody had a great Easter if that is what you celebrate. If not, hope you had a fantastic weekend. Woke up today feeling nice and refreshed, ready to get back on the winning track tonight. But first, we're going to start this week's episode with an update with the game over the weekend. Same old thing, y'all. The Nashville Predators continue to have the Sharks' number. Don't know what is going to give there, what's going to take for the Sharks to break their streak. The score was 6-3. At first, it wasn't close. Then it got close, and then it wasn't close again. So hats off to the Sharks for making it an interesting game, for tying it up at one point. But nonetheless, this is now 15 straight losses, y'all, to the Nashville Predators. 1-5, 15 straight. The Sharks haven't beat the Predators now in 5 years, y'all. 5 years. This is the current longest streak in the NHL that one team has versus another team as far as a win streak goes. So you want to see a turning of the tides, absolutely. But you can't be too shocked by the outcome of this game just based off of recent history. We were hoping it was going to be a game where one Yaroslav Askarov might be able to play a little spoiler and revenge, if you will, because for those that don't know, Askarov was traded from the Predators to the Sharks once upon a time. And, you know, I'm sure there are some feelings there of wanting to look good in front of the team that gave you up, that decided to potentially replace you with somebody else. And Askarov didn't have a horrible game, didn't have the best game either, but nonetheless, Nashville is just San Jose's kryptonite. And this was, sorry for the pun intention there, but this was on superhero night, so I had to play with that one a little bit. But, you know, it's a simple thing, it seems. Simple and not simple, right? Because if it was simple, the Sharks would figure out a way to beat the Preds, right? But, you know, one thing that we're going to give credit is we're always going to give credit where credit's due. Look, I don't care if it is my enemy. If my enemy finds a way to go out and cure cancer and save the world, well, my enemy better get a Nobel Peace Prize or something, right? So that's the kind of guy that I am. Always going to give credit where credit is due, even if it's against my opponents. So Nashville looked real good in this one, y'all. Obviously, they have real good goalie play. But on top of that, you know, their top line is phenomenal. You know, for those that just don't know, they have a very good top line over there in Nashville and their other lines as well. One thing that they do well that the Sharks do not do well, transitions, either when it comes to just breakaways down the ice or turnovers or line changes. I think the Sharks have found themselves on the wrong side of things when they find that their transitions aren't up to speed, aren't up to snuff. And I think some other teams recognize that. So you'll see them kind of going off the bat, speeding down the ice. And sometimes the Sharks don't follow suit and keep up with them, and that's how you sometimes find uneven number of bodies on the opposite side of the ice and mismatches as well. So I feel like you did see a little bit of that here, especially on the defensive side of the defensive side of things. But we're gonna call spade a spade. Second blue line, third blue line didn't look phenomenal on Saturday night. There were a couple of the youngsters, whether it was Mook Medulin or Sam Dickinson, getting a little exposed out there. But that's okay. Once again, y'all, this is stuff that I'm absolutely fantastically fine with. The youngsters will continue to come into their own. Yes, it's something we're going to continue to preach. We want our youngsters to make that tremendous leap. so that we can become a Stanley Cup champion contender. But the real reality is we have a lot of young players that it would be unfair to ask them to make this dramatic leap right now. And so we are still finding progressions from our young players like Mook Madolin and Sam Dickinson, but still seeing them being exposed a little bit out there as well. But that's perfectly fine. That's okay. I'm a guy that's going to keep looking at everything glass half full, keep looking at everything for the future, y'all. Of course, your boy wants us to make playoffs this season, and I think we still can, and I think we just might. But look, I'm not going to be upset if we're going to take this season as a great growth and progression season that can really leapfrog us into next season. Now, you better believe no matter what happens, next season expectations are probably going to be playoffs or dang near close to it. But don't get too upset about the loss on this one, y'all. The Sharks were on a dang good winning streak. They were on a pretty good road of points that they were doing coming up into that one. I think they had like a 5-game point streak going with a 4-game win streak. So that's okay. That's all right. We're going to take the day off, regroup, get back at it against Chicago tonight. Now, some positives that came away from Saturday's game. Celebrini scores another goal. Nick Leddy had his first goal as a San Jose Shark. And Nick Leddy is someone that we've been talking about as of late, that when he first popped up on the ice, we were questioning why he was there. Now we know, and now we see why he's on the ice. He's earned his ice time, whether it is finding that support on the blue line that we need or becoming that offensive force that we need from the blue line as well. And I hate to say the word force because he's not really a force out there, but nonetheless, he is coming into his own and helping the offensive side of things. And you like to see him get his first goal on that one. Alex Wenberg continues his hot streak. He had a dang good goal where he just said, I'm going to do everything myself. Took the puck all the way down the net, weaving in and out of traffic, shooting the goal on his own and getting a goal as well. So, he had that determination. He had that fire in him to get the Sharks back into it. And once again, at one point, the Sharks did tie the game. So, can't be too upset there. We had some pretty good passing on some assists in the game as well. Whether it was William Eklund with the crazy behind-the-back no-look pass, or it was Colin Graff on a give and go on Celebrini's goal, taking the puck around the net, finding Celebrini open for the goal. You saw some positive stuff in this, y'all, so don't get too upset. Look, I think if the Sharks really up their defense in the offseason, really focus on the transitions and getting on the ice with some urgency and not keeping bodies open down the ice in their own zone, you're going to see quite a bit of a difference of the San Jose Sharks, and not so much of the Sharks having the scratch and claw and play comeback and superhero like you saw them almost do on Superhero Night. So, good game overall. I get it, 6-3. The score may not dictate that. The downside was when the Sharks tied the game and momentum was swinging back on their sides, they let the momentum just easily swing back to the Predators' side. And you saw Nashville score a shorthanded power play goal. Shorthanded to where they were shorthanded, not the Sharks. Sharks were on the power play. But Nashville scored a shorthanded goal and then an empty netter. So after that, you saw the momentum just completely swing, and it looked like all hope was lost for the San Jose Sharks in that one. But still, nonetheless, they kept it close. They tied the game late. We'll see what we can do regrouping tonight. But before we get into that, we're going to look at the current wild card standings, because we did have a game last night that kind of dictated the points, as well as obviously a full slate of games on Saturday. So because of Nashville beating the Sharks, unfortunately, y'all, they are still sitting pretty. Well, I wouldn't say comfortable, but they're sitting pretty at that number 2 wild card spot again. Nashville, you saw them having it and then plummet and then back. Just like the Sharks, y'all. All these teams are going through the same kind of process, as it seems. Nashville has 81 points, 6 games remaining. because the Kings won over the weekend as well. They are also at 81 points and 6 games remaining. Then you find San Jose. They're right there, right outside looking in once again. So even though they lost, there still is easy margins to make up. They're at 79 points, y'all. They're just 2 points out of it still. And San Jose has 7 games remaining. So more games remaining than most of these other teams in the hunt for that second wild card spot. We saw Winnipeg do some good winning over this weekend, so they're at 78 points again. St. Louis just won last night against Colorado, so they're back at 78 points. Both of those teams have 6 games remaining. And then the only team that's really in the hunt for that second wild card spot that has 7 games like San Jose is Seattle. And they are 75 points. And, of course, they can scratch and claw their way right back into it, just like any of these teams are. So we got to include them in it, but they do have 7 games like San Jose does. So that's the pro there, y'all, is San Jose does have a one more game opportunity than the rest of these other teams, especially the ones ahead of them, to gain those 2 points. Of course, we've already mentioned San Jose still has 1 game left against Nashville. So the remaining schedule that the Sharks have, and that's actually what we're going to be talking about the next upcoming game against Nashville. It's a short slate of games left, y'all. We are coming to the nitty-gritty. And how excited are we, Sharks fans? Please don't look at any of this glass half empty. How excited are we that we just saw our team being the worst team in hockey not too long ago? And now we are watching our team in a conversation at the end of the NHL season talking about potentially being in playoffs, y'all. We're blessed. We have a lot to be excited about here in San Jose. So tonight we have the game against Chicago. That's going to be the second to last of the homestand. Then we have a day off, then a game versus Edmonton. Edmonton's no one to mess with right now. Then it's a back-to-back, right? So it's Edmonton. Then we travel down to Anaheim. Sharks will be playing the Ducks out there at the Honda Center, so that's going to be a tough one. Luckily, then, Sharks get a day off before one more home game versus the Vancouver Canucks, a game that the Sharks better win, and they have to win. Following that, you'll find another day off for the San Jose Sharks before finishing up that season series in Nashville against the Predators, another must-win for the Sharks. Then they get a day off before wrapping up the season, 2 consecutive road games at Chicago again and at Winnipeg. So, a lot of games to win. Got a few teams mixed up in there that are actually in the same playoff hunt for that wild card 2 spot that the Sharks are looking for as well. So every game going forward is a playoff game, y'all. Your boy's going to keep saying it, keep rinsing, repeating it, y'all. Every game's a playoff game going forward, including tonight's game versus the Chicago Blackhawks. That's a game where you find the Blackhawks at 70 points. They're not a team that's really looking for a playoff spot, but doesn't seem to matter because they did beat the San Jose Sharks by a score of 6-3 earlier in the season in February. That was a game in Chicago. So even though you want to say Chicago's an easy matchup, there's no such thing as an easy matchup here in the NHL, especially when you're a team like the Sharks, where you really don't know exactly where you stand in the overall power rankings. Are you in the upper echelon? Are you in the middle tier? Or are you still on that bottom tier? But maybe you like to say that we're just we're receiving some hookups from the Western Conference and the Pacific Division not being as strong as the Eastern Conference and other divisions as well. So this is a big one. Chicago is the top PK team in the league. They are 31st in face-off percentage. So the keys to winning this game: we can't rely upon the power play. We can't rely upon the penalties and the mismatches of the bodies on the ice to get the Sharks where they need to be. You saw the Sharks score a lot of their goals. I think they scored 2 of their goals, those back-to-back goals that they scored against Nashville on Saturday to tie it. They were 4-on-4 goals, which just means a little bit more space on the ice, a little bit more maneuverability, and options to pass the puck around. So we want to see the Sharks be a little bit more effective on the 5-on-5s. And that's what you're going to have to do in this game versus Chicago. Being the top PK team in the league, you cannot rely upon the power play to score. Now, 31st in faceoffs. That's a problem that the Sharks have had to deal with all season long, is not being a strong faceoff winning team. Now, faceoffs are important, well, obviously, because that gives your team more opportunities to score, but also gives your team more opportunities to keep the puck away from the opposition, who is trying to score as well, right? So, 31st in faceoff percentage for the Chicago Blackhawks. You better see the Sharks winning that matchup tonight, or your boy will not be too happy. So, the last little statistic that I wanted to point out here that maybe you guys know about in Team Teal Nation. The Sharks are one of 5 teams currently, this late in the season, y'all, that still does not have a shutout. The Sharks have not shut a team out this season yet. Every team that has faced the Sharks this season, and multiple times obviously at this point, has at least scored 1 goal, if not more. So obviously that goes to pointing out to the transitions, the line changes, the puck control, not turning the puck over, but also to our blue lines and making sure our defense stays locked in and stays focused on not allowing teams to find mismatches. Teams are seeming to find a way to get 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s versus the San Jose Sharks, because you sometimes find that you'll have a defender that's out of place. And once again, it's typically pointing to our younger individuals, but blame can be kind of pointed out elsewhere as well. So let's get a shutout, y'all, before the season ends. Let's see the San Jose Sharks shut a team down, let them score 0 points, make sure we guarantee ourselves 2 points as we continue this playoff race. What's your predictions for tonight's game, y'all? That will be my question of the day. Sorry it comes so late in the video, but hit me with a comment below and predict tonight's outcome and tonight's score versus Chicago. I think the Sharks are going to right the ship. They're going to get right back on the winning side of things. And I think the San Jose Sharks, check it out, win by a score of, let's say, 2-0, y'all. Your boy woke up feeling good on a Monday. Maybe I had too many chocolate eggs yesterday. I don't know. But I think the Sharks will get their first shutout of the season tonight against Chicago. Puck drops at 7 p.m. Pacific time, San Jose time. Don't want to miss this one, y'all. Let's get back on the winning side of things. Let's get back in that second wild card spot for playoffs, y'all. But I appreciate you tuning in. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in to Sharks Latest. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode and all week long, Monday to Friday, as we end every video going forward. Let's keep it real, y'all. Let's keep it teal, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow.